If you are watching this video, you probably sense that God has purposes for you personally, and you want to fulfill them. More specifically, you want to be used by God to advance His kingdom. It is normal for Christians to sense these things from the moment they first believe the gospel. There are many stories in the Bible of people who, from the moment they first believe, begin to tell other people about Jesus. An example of this is found in John chapter 4 in the story of the woman at the well. After Jesus introduced himself to her as the Messiah, she immediately dropped her water pot and ran back to her village to tell the people about Jesus. Because of her excitement and her testimony, the entire village then went out to the well to see Jesus. After meeting Jesus and listening to him for a while, many of them began to believe the gospel. While all this was happening, Jesus used this event to teach his disciples about evangelism. He taught them that those who participate in evangelism will receive eternal reward. He also told them that by doing this work, his own soul was being fed. If you are truly a Christian, you can identify with this woman in the story. She did not know how to evangelize like a seasoned evangelist, but she spontaneously had a desire to be involved somehow. She felt compelled to tell people about Jesus. Take encouragement from this story. Though she did not know much, God used this woman to advance his kingdom greatly. If you have a desire to be used by God to advance his kingdom, follow the example of this woman. If you open yourself up to God to be used like he used her, he will indeed do it. It is important that you embrace your identity as one of God's ambassadors. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world." 1 Peter 2:9 says that we are a part of a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that we should proclaim the excellencies of him who called us out of the darkness into his marvelous light. I want to give you a heads up though. You need to know that for the rest of your life, Satan will work to dampen your desires to be used by God to advance his kingdom. He will probably try to turn your eyes upon the many Christians who do not share your enthusiasm. If you follow the example of the typical Christian today, you will likely learn to be apathetic like them. You will tell yourself that a lackluster spiritual life is normal, when in reality it is highly dysfunctional. Unfortunately, even many pastors do not seem to think that all Christians should be involved in evangelism. Don't let anyone tell you that evangelism is reserved for paid professionals or specially gifted men. All Christians are commanded to be involved in evangelism. You need to make up your mind to be in this for the long haul. Satan and even many so-called Christians will discourage you about being involved in evangelism. Instead of following the multitudes, make up your mind now to be one of those that God uses for the rest of your life to advance his kingdom mightily. You may not know how to evangelize like others who have been doing it for a long time, but you can make it your aim to increasingly learn how to evangelize. This video series can motivate you and help you learn how to evangelize. Video number 2 highlights the Bible's warnings for those who don't evangelize and the blessings promised to those who do evangelize. Video number 3 highlights many practical things that every Christian can do to evangelize. Subsequent videos examine the biblical principles of evangelism. I pray that God will use this video series to educate and inspire you to do the work of evangelism.